guys, welcome back to Mistakes of Others. It's your friend, Maddie here. This week's Mistakes of Others is about the book Endurance by Scott Kelly. Scott Kelly is a NASA astronaut who is famous for holding the American record for longest consecutive days spent in space at 340 days between March 2015 to March 2016. While it takes dedication and strength that few people have to be an astronaut, Scott made mistakes early in life that almost set him on the wrong path. He shares these mistakes in detail throughout the book, giving us a personal glimpse at a less than perfect person. Fortunately, we can learn from his mistakes. Let's begin. Mistake number 1. Not living up to your potential. Early on in life, Scott was not a very good student because he lacked the ability to focus. His grades were so poor that his dad eventually gave him an honest assessment of his future while he was in high school. He told him that joining a trade school instead of college might be a better career path for him, given his grades made it unlikely that he would succeed in advanced education. Scott had always emphasized adventure over studying, but he did manage to get into a college after that discussion with his dad. In college, he found a book called The Right Stuff by Tom Wolfe about Navy test pilots and realized that there was an advanced career path for him that could combine the discipline of studying with the thrills that he was seeking. For the first time, he applied himself to his schoolwork because of the motivation of becoming a naval aviator and was able to join the Navy after he graduated. While Scott was very lucky to have found his calling through a chance encounter with a book, it is probably best not to wait for fortune to give you direction and instead do your best at things that will give you the most options when you finally do decide what you want to be. Mistake number 2. Making selfish decisions. While Scott had been able to achieve all of his own goals, he did it at the expense of his family. Scott married his first wife, Leslie, when he was in his 20s, while still a naval aviator and not in NASA. Over the years he eventually did get accepted into the space program, which required an incredible commitment. While Scott acknowledges that he was focused on his own goals while his wife was forced to stay at home to take care of their 2 daughters and look after everything in the house, he makes no apologies for drifting away from Leslie. Instead of thinking about how she must have felt being put into an unexpected situation where she had to make sacrifices for an astronaut husband, he instead describes how he wanted to reflect in his later years on the happiest life he could live. It was at that point he simply tells Leslie that he wanted to be happy, so he wanted a divorce, but he doesn't explain in the book anything beyond that. While he may have changed as a person naturally because he became famous, the fact is that he didn't realize that the only reason he was able to have a family was because of his wife's sacrifices, and the only thought in his decision was that he wanted to be happy, even though she dedicated all those years to their house and didn't get any fame or benefit. All in all, this was a very good book about an interesting but flawed person. Scott has tried to make astronauts seem more human by saying that he is, quote, a below average guy doing slightly above average stuff. After studying his mistakes and accomplishments, the reader can decide whether it was all worth it or not. Well, that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed my summary. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit the like button. Send me an email at mistakesofothers@gmail.com if you want to make a recommendation. Remember, stay positive, and I'll see you next week. Bye!